अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन। क्या हाल चाल हैं आप लोगों के? Okay, so first of all, let me go through your answers. Well, most of you got this question right, which is great news. The answer will be 20%. 20% or 0.2. That's correct. Good job. Acha, a couple of other questions that I'd like to answer. Yes, these questions are IGCSE only, okay? So they're mixed. Most of these questions will be from extended, okay? But these are some difficult questions that I'm going to solve. And through these difficult questions, you guys will be able to understand the concept as well, inshallah. Okay. So you can download this worksheet from the description, okay? It's from Save My Exams. They're doing great work. Allah bhala kare unka. Conditional probability is usually found in like a part of a question. Okay, you won't find a question independently on conditional probability. It'll be like maybe part 2, part 3 of a question. Okay. Alright, those of you who are watching, if you could like the stream and subscribe also in case you haven't done that yet, that would mean a lot as always. Sir, I have 0580 IGCSE Math paper 2 on the 2nd. I'm aware of that. I am aware of that. Any tips? Just keep practicing. Keep practicing past papers. Take good care of yourself. Eat healthy. Sleep well. All of that. Nothing else. Nothing unusual. Okay, Chana. So let's start. As you can see, today's objective is probability. So we're going to solve these difficult questions and we will, inshallah, through these difficult questions, learn the concept. Okay. So, question number 1. First of all, get yourself familiar with the question. Read the question as many times as you have to, because there are a lot of things to watch out for, with replacement, without replacement, how many are drawn, whether it's 1, 2, 3, all of that, okay? And then also, when you've sort of understood the question, then always think of multiple ways through which the condition that's mentioned in the question can be fulfilled. So for example, if the question says, like for example over here, both discs have the same number or the same color. Now see how many ways that is possible, okay? Make sure that you haven't missed anything out, okay? So if you've considered one possibility, like let's say red, okay, then see if if exactly that is possible with some other color, maybe blue, maybe yellow, who knows, okay? So just keep your eyes and ears open, in short. So here's question number 1. Let's see what it says. It says the diagram shows 6 discs. Each disc has a color and a number. 2 of the 6 discs are picked at random without replacement. Okay, so let's highlight the word without replacement. Okay, very important. Find the probability that both discs have the number 3. Now remember, whenever you have stuff like both and, okay, all 3, all 4, all 2, in that case, what you do is you multiply. Okay, so I'll keep writing stuff down, which is important. Both or the word and means that you multiply. Okay, so in this case, we're only concerned with the color. Okay, we're only concerned with the number. We're not concerned with the color. Okay, so how many do we have? How many discs do we have that have the number 3? There are 2. So that means in the first attempt, the probability of getting a disc with 3 written on it is 2 upon 6. Why? Because that's your favorable outcome, 2 is your favorable outcome, and 6 is your total. Okay, so remember, all of probability will revolve around just one formula, and that is probability equals to favorable upon total. Okay, this is what, if let's say you had to summarize probability, okay, if someone comes to you and says summarize probability in 4 words actually, so just say probability equals favorable upon total. Okay, all right, then multiply this by the probability of getting a 3 in the second attempt, okay, the second time. So if 1 3 goes, that means now you're only left with 1. So 1's your favorable outcome, and notice that since it's without replacement, what does that mean? That means the total will decrease. Okay, when does the total not decrease? When it's with replacement. That means you take something out, you put it back, the total has remained unchanged. Okay, so into 1 upon 5. So let's figure this out. This is going to be 2 upon 30. a lot of times the question will say, okay, give your answer in its simplest form. Sometimes it doesn't, but just make a habit of simplifying, because if it says that you have to give in simplest form, and if you don't simplify it, you lose marks. But if it's silent, and then also if you simplify it, you don't lose mark. Okay, so you're better off simplifying your answer. So 1 upon 15 is your final answer. Okay, it's 2 marks. Easy does it. Then it says both discs have the same color. So what's important over here is same color. Now let's see how many ways is that possible. Okay, so one way that is possible is that if you get red, okay, is that possible, by the way? Is it possible to get 2 red? Okay, so while I'm writing down the other possibilities, I want you guys to think of it and tell me. Blue, okay, and what about, let's see, what other colors do we have? Yellow. Okay, so let me write this down in yellow. So is that possible? Is it possible to get red, blue, and yellow? Which one of the 3 is not possible? You can simplify 7 up 2 upon 6 first and then multiply, or if you want to multiply first and then simplify, it's up to you. Since calculator is allowed, so you guys don't have to worry about a thing. Okay. Ali Farhan, I'm streaming transformations tomorrow, inshallah. It's not possible. Yes, red is not possible. Okay. So let's say if you tried, okay, let's say if you didn't pay attention to it and you started working out the probability of getting both red. So you'll realize that the first time, the probability of drawing a red ball or a disc the first time is 1 upon 6, and then it's 0. Okay. And then for blue, let's see, how many blue do we have? We have 2 blue out of 6. So that's going to be 2 upon 6. Okay. Multiplied by 1 upon 5, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 2 upon 30. And then let's talk about yellow. How many yellow do we have? We have 2 yellow. Okay. We have, wait a minute. We have 3 blue actually. I just realized we have 3 blue, not 2. Okay. So let me fix that. So 3 upon 6 multiplied by 2 upon 5. So that's going to be 6 upon 30. This I would prefer to simplify at the very end. Why? Because since I have to add I have to add probability, so I'll simplify at the very end once I've added everything. And then what about yellow? So we have, as you can see, we have 2 yellow from a total of 6. So the first time the probability is 2 upon 6, and then for the second time it's 1 upon 5, which is equal to 2 upon 30. Okay. Now remember this. Here's an important note for you guys to remember. If there are multiple ways of fulfilling, I don't know if that's how you spell fulfilling, but anyway, fulfilling one specific condition, then find all the probabilities and add them up. Or you can say, then find the probability of all the ways and add them up. Then find the probability of all the ways and add them up. Just like over here, in how many ways can we fulfill the condition of the same color? Red, blue, yellow. Now that's a different story, that red is not possible, but if it was possible, we would have considered it. So anyway, what do we get? Here's what we get. We get 6 upon 30 plus 2 upon 30. So 6 upon 30 plus 2 upon 30, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 8 upon 30. Okay. Which if you then simplify, 8 divided by 30 is equals to 4 upon 15. And there you go. That's your answer. Okay. Blue कैसे क्या? Okay, अभी बता देता हूँ. So you have 3 blue, all right? So the probability of drawing a blue in the first attempt is going to be 3 upon 6. Then it's going to be 2 upon 5. Why? Because 1 blue will go, okay? And now अगर एक blue कम हो गया, that means for the second time you have 2 favorable and 5 total. That's why. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Okay, moving on. Next question. Question number 2. Question number 2 says, Morgan picks 2 of these letters at random without replacement. Okay. Find the probability that he picks two letters that are the same. Okay, so first of all, let's take a deep breath over here. We need to find out the probability that the two letters are the same. So let's identify all the ways in which he can fulfill this condition, which is that the two letters are the same. Okay. So let's start with P. Since P, there's only one P in possibility, that's not possible. Okay. Then what about O? Since there's only one O, that's not possible. So that means it is possible. What about S? That's possible. SS. Okay. What else? I. Yeah, I is possible. So it could be SS or I. So again, since there are multiple ways of fulfilling the same condition, that means we're going to add the probabilities up. Okay, anything else? Possibility, there's no B that's coming twice. L only comes once. T comes once. Y also comes once. Okay. So let's talk about the probability that both the letters are S. So what's the probability of getting S in the first time? So 2 is our favorable outcome. Okay, now how many total letters do we have? Let's see. If it doesn't say in the question, just count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that means the probability of getting an S for the first time is basically 2 upon 11. And then what about the second time? Now 1S will, now since we already have 1S, that means now we don't have 2 S's anymore. Now we just have 1S. Okay, and the total has gone down. Why? Because it's without replacement. I should have highlighted that or underlined it. So there you go. The probability of getting both S as the first two letters is 2 upon 11 into 1 upon 10. Okay. Now what about both I's? Let's see how many I's do we have. So we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 I's. Okay. So that means in the first attempt it's going to be 3 upon 11. In the second one, it's going to be 2 upon 10. Because if you take out one I, so your favorable goes down by 1 and your total also goes down by 1. So here we have 2 upon 110 and or 6 upon 110, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 8 upon 110. Now let's see, what is that equal to? 8 divided by 110, which is equal to 4 upon 55. And there you go. That's your answer. Okay, so far these questions were fairly easy. Now this is a difficult question, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you guys 5 minutes to solve this. Okay, and let me know when you have the answer. Yep, 4 upon 55 is correct. Tell me why we learn algebra if you don't want to be engineer. बेटा ये फजूल सवाल के मैं बाद में जवाब दूंगा, ठीक है? Sir, can you tell me this whole concept of why do we have to multiply 1 upon 10 and 2 upon 10 with it after the first probability is taken? Why do we have to multiply 1 upon 10 and 2 upon 10? Okay. So basically देखो पहली दफ़ा ऐसा आने की क्या probability है? 2 upon 11. अब एक दफ़ा अगर एक S आ गया, then what's the probability of getting an S again? So that's going to be 1 upon 10. Why? Because एक S कम हो गया, पहले दो favorable outcomes थी, अब एक हो गया, ठीक है? Total पे letters पहले कितने थे? 11 थे. अब क्या हो गया? अब एक कम हो गया, ठीक है? तो अब 10 हो गया. So that's why 2 upon 10 into 2 upon 11 into 1 upon 10. And then do the same for I. You have 3 I's. So the probability of drawing an I for the first attempt is 3 upon 11. And then the probability of drawing an I is going to be 2 upon 10. Why? Because one I has lessened. Okay, you have one less I, and the total will go down by 1 as well. So that's why you have 10 as your total outcomes. Okay. Sir, can you please make a video on AddMath integration basic? Yes, AddMath streams I will do inshallah. पहले ज़रा IGCSE or AS के papers हो जाएं, then I'll have some time. Then I'll do AddMath streams. Okay, don't worry. I plan on streaming all the important topics such as integration, trigonometry, differentiation, vectors, kinematics. So don't worry. Modulus, inequalities, and all that. That's all in my list, inshallah. Logs, that as well. Okay, so let me know when you guys have the answer to this. Short video on vectors. Are you talking about IGCSE vectors, or are you talking about AdMath vectors, or are you talking about math as in O-level vectors? Please specify. 13 upon 21. All right, let's check in a minute. Let me answer this question. Said how to reinvigorate motivation to study. I've given many exams for the same thing. The monotony is very agitating. How to renew the strength to sit down and focus. Okay. Acha, Zainab. First of all, probability can never be more than 1. Okay. So if, and this is for everyone, if let's say your answer turns out to be more than 1, that means you're doing something wrong. Okay. Acha. Okay, just hold on to your answers, everyone. All right, 13 upon 21 किसी ने कहा, 3 upon 7 किसी ने कहा. Just hold on to your answers. All right. Please make a video on time wale questions. Okay. Yes, the worksheet is in the description. Okay, I've pinned that over. I've pinned that comment. You'll find a PDF of this in the description. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna solve this now. Just hold on to your answers, and then in the end, you can tell me who got the correct answer. Okay. In fact, I'll tell you guys what the correct answer is. So the correct answer is actually 5 upon 7. Yeah, the correct answer is actually 5 upon 7. Now, this is a tricky question. I don't know what past paper this is, but this is definitely a past paper question. Okay, this is a worksheet from Save My Exams. Okay, and I've taken out all the hard questions. Okay, so basically, this question is not your regular tree diagram question. It's a slightly different question. Okay, I'm solving it now. Pay close attention. A bag contains 5 blue marbles and 2 green marbles. Okay. Brian picks 1 marble at random without replacement. So first of all, let's highlight without replacement. Okay. If this marble is not green, he picks another marble at random without replacement. He continues until he picks a green marble. Okay, now this is very important. That means he will stop the second he gets a green marble. So if he gets a green marble in the first attempt, he'll stop. If he gets a green marble in the second attempt, he'll stop. If he gets a green marble in the third attempt, he'll stop. Okay. Now, if you read the question, it says find the probability that he picks a green marble on his first, second, or third attempt. Okay. Find the probability that he gets a green marble on his first, second, or third attempt. Okay. So like I said, this is not your regular tree diagram question. It's slightly different. So here's what we're going to do. Let's say that this is the first attempt. Okay, what you see now is basically the first attempt. Okay, so here's green and here's blue. Let me just switch to a completely different color. Okay, let me switch to purple. Okay, so here's green and here's blue. Now, what's the probability of drawing a green marble in the first attempt? Okay, that's pretty easy to work out. It's 2 upon 7. And just like that, what's the probability of drawing a blue marble in the first attempt? It's 5 upon 7. Okay, now here's a question for you guys. Will I make another tree after green? Is that the case? And if not, then I want you guys to tell me why. If yes, then I also want you guys to tell me why that is. So in the meantime, I'll fill this up. So if the first one is blue, then what is the probability that the second one is also blue? So your blue previously were 5. Now you take 1 away, so that's 4. So that means now the favorable outcome is 4. Favorable outcome meaning the number of blue balls is 4. What about the total? That will also go down by 1. So that's going to be 4 upon 6. Okay, and what about green? So now if the first one turns out to be green, that means the number of green remains the same. So green marbles or balls, whatever it is, will remain 2. But the total will reduce. The total will go down by 1. So from 7, it's now going to be 6. Acha, मेरे सवाल का जवाब आया? No. Why is that? Yes. Because if he picks a green marble, that means that's the end. Okay, so that is why we're not going to make a tree after green. Okay. Now this, what you're looking at, is basically what happens after the second attempt. Okay, this is the probability of the second attempt. Now what about 3? What about the third attempt? Okay, so in the third attempt, now remember, he will only attempt it for the third time if the second is blue. Why? Because the question says so. He continues until he picks a green marble. So notice that if he gets a green marble in the first attempt, he stops. Okay, if he gets a green marble in the second attempt, he stops. And just like that, if he gets a green marble in the third attempt, what's he going to do? He's going to stop. Okay, so what's the probability of getting a blue marble in the third attempt? Let's figure that out. So blue are now 4 after the second attempt, okay, and the total are 6. So what's the probability of getting blue again? So now it's going to go down by 1, so it's going to be 3, and the total will also go down by 1, so it's going to be 5. Okay. What about the probability of green? Now green remain the same. Okay, the number of green balls remain the same, but the total will go down by 1, so that means it's going to be 2 upon 5. Okay, now, and this is where he stops. So the question says, find the probability that he picks a green marble on his first, second, or third attempt. So let's start with first. What's the probability that he gets a green marble in the first attempt? Okay, that means the first one is green. Okay, so what will be the probability of that? The probability of that will be equal to simply 2 upon 7, which is equal to 2 upon 7. 2 upon 7 equals 2 upon 7. Okay. What about the probability that he gets a green marble in the second attempt? Now, the only way that can happen is if the first one is blue. Okay, here we can't, if this was a regular question, here we would have considered blue green and green green, but we can't consider green green because if he gets green in the first attempt, he stops there. Okay, he's not going to attempt this experiment a second time. Okay, but the only way that the second one will be green is if the first one is blue and then the second one is green. Okay, so let's work out the probability of that. The probability of getting blue as the first one is 5 upon 7. Okay, and the probability of getting green as the second one is 2 upon 6. Okay, so let's simplify this, see what do we get. 5 into 2 is 10. 7 into 6 is what? Let's work this out. 5 into 2 divided by 7 into 6. So that's equal to 5 upon 21. Okay, so then what about the third attempt? Now the only way that he will get a green one in the third attempt is if the first two are blue, because remember, he stops, the second he gets a green one. Okay, so how is that possible? That is possible if the first one is blue, 5 upon 7, the second one is also blue, which is 4 upon 6, and then the third one, blue, blue, green, the third one is green, which is going to be 2 upon 5. Okay, so let's work this out. 5 into 4 into 2 divided by 7 into 6 into 5. So we're looking at 4 upon 21. Now notice that there are multiple ways of fulfilling the same condition. You have 2 upon 7, 5 upon 21, 4 upon 21. So what are we going to do now? Now to get the final answer, here's what we're going to do. 2 upon 7 plus 5 upon 21 plus 4 upon 21. Okay, so let's figure this out using a calculator. 2 upon 7 plus 5 upon 21 plus 4 upon 21. So we're looking at 5 upon 7 as the final answer. So there you go, fellas. Maza aaya? So when to round it up to 3 significant figures and 1 not 2 sometimes, even though the question doesn't specify anything. The MSA is more than 3 significant figures, not okay. So the examiner is not too strict about that. Okay, it's a good habit to round your answers off correct to 3 significant figures. Okay, the examiner says that in the question paper, and the reason why you find more significant figures in the marking scheme is so that it's easy for you to judge whether your answer is correct or not. Okay, so I hope you find the answer to your question. Is the tree diagram necessary? It just makes it easier. Okay, it just makes it easier. If you're weak, if your probability concept is weak, make a tree diagram and I can guarantee you will find some perspective. हमसे आसान नहीं होते, आप मुश्किल करोगे तो आसान भी हो जाएंगे, don't worry. So can we solve 2014 42? There is a probability question. Okay, so let me see if towards the end we can do that. Okay, if you guys have probability questions to share, you can share that. Okay, let me pin this comment. Okay, but first I'd like to complete this worksheet. Okay, okay, there you go. Sir, how many past paper question will you do? So I'll solve this entire worksheet. I think there are like 7-8 questions in this worksheet, so I'll solve this entire worksheet. Okay, you're welcome. Sir, when will you do algebra ke past papers? So what exactly in algebra do you need help in? I have a lot of videos on algebra. I have videos on factorization, simultaneous, quadratics. Watch का brand बता दूँ नज़र ना लगा दें आप लोग. I've been wearing it since, I don't know, 2018. Even if you take out my 2018 videos, you'll notice I'm wearing the same watch. Only the strap has changed. Previously it was blue, now it's black. So how many add math papers should one ideally solve before the channel? Okay, how many times have I answered that question already? If you're getting a good score consistently, then that's it. Oh, I just started doing that. Okay, chale, let's do question number 4 part A. So it says students in a school are represented by a universal set. Okay. Students who play football is the set F. Students who play baseball is the set B. Okay. There are 240 students in the school. Okay. So let's write that down. 240. Now you may be wondering, how come all of a sudden there's a sets and Venn diagram? It's probably because there's a follow-up question on probability. Okay. So 120 students play football. So that means the total of football is 120. Okay. 40 students play baseball. So that means the total of baseball is 40. 90 students play football but not baseball. Okay, so that means these 90 are football only. Okay, so wo kahan pe aayenge? We'll have them over here. Now, because of this and because of the total number of students who play football, you can work out the number of students that are intersecting with baseball. Basically, the number of students who play baseball as well. Okay. Now, also with the help of this 30, you can work out the number of students who play baseball. Okay. And with the help of all these values and 240, you can work out the number of students, the nerds basically, who don't play anything at all. They're probably in the library reading a book. 240 minus answer, that's equal to 110. Okay. So do we have any nerds here watching the stream? Okay. So there you go. 110 are the number of students जो कुछ नहीं खेलते. Then it says 2 students who play baseball are chosen at random. So this is the conditional probability. Okay, this probability is conditional probability. Why? Because this is the condition. The condition is that students who play baseball are chosen. Okay, so that means now our total will not be the total students. Total will not be 240. In fact, the total will be students who play baseball. Okay, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 120. Yeah, no, wait a minute, that's 40. Okay, which is equal to 40. Okay, find the probability that they also play football. So how many students do we have who play baseball and also play football? So such students are 30, and how many students do we have who play baseball? That's 40. Okay, so that means 40 is the total. Okay, and this 30 is the favorable. So what is the probability that a student is chosen at random who also from baseball who is also plays football? That's 30 upon 40. And then since you're selecting 2 students, so what's the probability that the second student also plays football? Will be 29 over 39. Now why is that? That's because it's without replacement. Well, the only way that you can select 2 students is without replacement. Okay, so that is why we are subtracting 1. So let's figure this out. 30 into 29 over 40 over 39. Let's work this out. 30 over 40 into 29 over 39, which is equal to 29 over 52. There you go. That's your answer. Now, any questions? Okay, so conditional probability is when you're selecting from a specific group only. Okay, so here this question is of conditional probability because it says 2 students who play baseball are chosen at random. Okay, so this is the condition. That's it. That's all there is as far as conditional probability is concerned. Okay, IGCSE conditional probability is very easy. What's difficult is S1 conditional probability. Okay, so the only way that you can select 2 students is if you do it without replacement. You're right. Your question is valid that it doesn't say anywhere in the question that it's without replacement. But you tell me, Sochana, how many ways can you get 2 students? What if you select 1 student and you put that student back in the group and then you select another? So at the end, you're just left with 1 student. The only way that you can get 2 students is if you select them without replacement. Okay. Okay. Now, question number 5. Chalo, as always, not as always, but this time I'll give you guys what 5 minutes to solve this question. Let me know when you have the answer. Acha, while you guys are solving this, do let me know what you'd like me to stream tomorrow. I was thinking maybe a yearly past paper. IGCSE vectors, I'll try. I'll try and do vectors as well. Okay. How do we revise 1 day before exam? You don't revise 1 day before exam, beta. You just relax 1 day before exam. Okay. One upon 6. Okay. Good job. One upon 6 is the correct answer. Good job, fellas. So I'm gonna do it now. Work out the probability that the 3 counters are all the same color. Okay. So the only way that can happen is if you have green, 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 and red, red, red. Green, green, green. Or if you have red, red, red. This or means that we will add. Okay. So what's the probability of getting green in the first attempt? That's going to be 5 upon 9. And then green in the second, 4 upon 8. And then green in the third, 3 upon 7. Okay. So that's that for as far as green is concerned. For red, 4 upon 9 into 3 upon 8 into 2 upon 7. Okay. So 5 into 4 is 20. 20 into 3 is 60. 60 upon 9 into 8 is what? 72. Okay. Itni achhi nahi hai meri mental maths. Should just use a calculator. 9 into 8 into 7. That's 504. Plus 4 into 3 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. And 9 into 8 into 7. Okay, that's going to be 504. So that's equal to 84 over 504. Let's simplify this. 84 divided by 504. So that's equal to 1 upon 6. Okay, good job, you guys. You just got yourself 4 marks. Brilliant. Okay, this question I'm going to skip, okay, because it's the same as question 5, so there's no point in wasting time. Okay, same as question 5. Okay, there are some, okay, so this question is a difficult question. I'd really like to solve this question with you guys. So now, again, I'll give you guys a few minutes to solve this. Okay, then I'll solve it myself if needed. You got the right answer. You're shocked. चले माशाल्लाह. नज़र न लगा दीजिएगा आप अपने आप को. Sir, could we do a past paper from 2018 or 2019 since they're tough? Okay, so suggest me a past paper and I can solve it. I was thinking, because I did March 2023, I did October, November 2022. So the next in line that I had was, which one was it? Let me check. It was May, June 2022. So what do you think? May, June 2022? Solve a question of class 9. बेटा अभी आप क्लास 9 में आप चिल करें, आपकी खेलने कूदने की उम्र है. आप कहाँ आप ये स्ट्रीम देख रहे हैं? पहली बात. Quadratic equation word problems. Okay, let's see. This is a pretty long question, Zainab. This question has 3 parts, okay? And 2 of the 3 parts have 2 parts each. Nineteen 1967. Okay, part 1 though is fairly easy. I'm talking about part 2. Okay. But say your answer is correct, Roman. Good job. And Arya, your answer is also correct. Good job. So the answer for part 2 is good job. It's 11 upon 20. It's 11 upon 20. Okay, so let's do part 1. So part 1 says bag A contains, in fact, let's read the question. Let's get ourselves familiar with the question, see what the deal is, and then we'll figure it out. No, it's not 3 upon 10. It's 7 upon 10. Hi, sir. I just want to say thank you. You're welcome, Absal. Happy to do it. Show that a black ball is more likely to be taken from bag A than from bag B. Okay, so let's look at bag A. What's the probability of getting a black ball in from bag A? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 3 upon 5. Why? Because you have 3 black from a total of 5. In bag B, it's 1 upon 4. So clearly 3 upon 5 is greater than 1 upon 4. If you don't know what the value of 3 upon 5 and 1 upon 4 is, just convert it to fraction and then show that 3 upon 5 is greater than 1 upon 4. Okay, or you can write it like this, that 0.6 is greater than 0.25. That's it. Okay. So keep it short and to the point. ये नहीं कि आप कोई लंबी चौड़ी कहानी लिखनी शुरू हो गए कि once upon a time and all that. Just keep it short and to the point. All right. Part 2 is find the probability that the 2 balls have different colors. Okay. So notice that you're taking one from bag A and then one from bag B. Okay. So let's highlight this, that a ball is taken at random from each bag. Okay. So let's highlight it, Tamise. Here it is. So how many ways can that happen? So you can get, so here's bag A and here's bag B. You can get black from bag A and you can get white from bag B. Or it's possible that from bag A you end up getting a white one and from bag B you end up getting a black one. Okay? So what you see above, these letters are basically the bags. Alright? So what's the probability of getting a black ball from bag A? So that's 3 upon 5. And then what's the probability of getting a black ball from bag B? So that's 1 upon 4. Now when it says or, what do? We add. Yes, 11 upon 20 is the correct answer. Okay. Now what's the probability of getting a white ball from bag A? That's 2 upon 5. And then what's the probability of getting a black ball from bag B? That's, acha, wait a minute. I just realized this is not 1 upon 4. This is actually 3 upon 4. Yeah, sorry, my bad. And then this is 1 upon 4. Okay. So let's figure this out. Let's see what do we get. So this is going to be equal to 9 upon 20 plus 2 upon 20. Yeah, 2 upon 20, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 11 upon 20. So there you go. This is your answer. Okay. Now here's part B. Again, I'd like you guys to try and solve part B first. Okay. So here's the diagram for reference. Good luck. $53 upon 100. No, what part are you talking about? It's not 53 upon 100. It's 11 upon 20. When do we multiply by 2? Okay, so you multiply by 2, for example, if the question hasn't specified the order. Okay, so if the question says that one is black and the other is white. Okay, so let's say it's bag A and it says one is black and the other is white. So you can have black white or white black. In that case, we multiply by 2. You will find questions like these. You will find questions later on in the worksheet where we'll have to multiply by 2. In fact, in some cases, we'll even have to multiply it by 3. So just hang in there. You'll find the answer to your question. Who was that? Zainab. Yeah, just hang in there, Zainab. Okay, so good job, you guys. I can see most of you are giving the correct answer. 1 upon 10 it is. So part 1 says, first let's read the question. The balls are returned to their original bags. 3 balls are taken at random from bag A without replacement. Find the probability that they're all black. Okay, so we're only taking it from bag A, and we're taking how many? We're taking 3 balls. Okay, so we're taking 3, and we're only taking it from bag A, and it's without replacement. Okay. Okay, so 3 upon 5 for the first one. Okay, since you have 3 black and 5 total, so 3 is your favorable, 5 is your total. And then 2 upon 4, the probability of getting a second ball is black as well. And then 1 upon 3 for the third one. Okay, so 20 upon 200 is correct, but just make sure to simplify it. So this 2 1s are, 2 2s are, this 3 and this 3 gets cancelled out. And now you're just left with 1 upon 5 into 10, or 5 into 2, which is 1 upon 10. Okay, find the probability that they're all white. Okay. Now, the probability of getting a white in the first attempt is 2 upon 5, and then the probability of getting a white in the second attempt is 1 upon 4, and then the probability of getting a white in the third attempt is 0 upon 3. So, might as well just write 0 at the end. Okay, there's no need to do all this, what I've just done, just 0. दो हैं तो ज़ाहिर 3 कैसे आएंगे? It's not possible. Sir, it doesn't say that we should do the question without replacement. It does say that. It does say that. The examiner thought we had common sense. Yeah, I think that's where the examiner went wrong. Okay, I'm just joking. Sir, I'm an O-level student. Can I watch this for practice? Yeah, of course. You can watch this for practice. Go ahead. Okay, so whoever manages to do part C has my respect. Oh, you guys have already given the answer. Is it because you've solved it, Fatma? Is that the case? You've solved it already? No, you don't always have to draw a tree diagram. It just makes it easier if you draw a tree diagram. Sir, in India, it's necessary to take add and extended. What do you mean? You mean add maths? Is that what you mean? CAIE Finder. What is that? Okay, so I'll solve it. I'll solve part C. And by the way, 11 upon 25 is the correct answer. Good job. Beta, whoever this is, gaming code, I think you found the answer to your question by now. Okay, I'm not solving a coordinate geometry question right now. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. If you take add maths, so extended is compulsory. Okay. Alright, so it says here the balls are returned to their original bags. A ball is taken at random from bag A and its color is recorded. Then this ball is then placed in bag B. A ball is then taken at random from bag B. Find the probability that the ball taken from bag B has a different color to the ball taken from bag A. Okay, now, so first of all, since we only have 2 colors, okay, the only way that this can happen is that if you end up, let's say, taking a white ball from bag A and you end up taking a black ball from bag B, or it's possible if it's the other way around. That means if you end up taking a black ball from bag A and a white ball from bag B. Okay, but bear in mind that this is very important. This ball is then placed in bag B. A ball is then taken at random from bag B. Okay, ये बहुत important है. Why? Because of this, the probability of the following outcome will change. Okay. Now let's talk about the probability of drawing a white ball from bag A. So that's pretty straightforward. It's going to be 3 upon 5. Okay. But then what happens is that if you take this white ball from bag A, okay, and you then put it in bag B, तो bag B में क्या होगा? Bag B में एक white ball और आ गई है, ठीक है? Now, what will then be the probability of drawing a black ball? Now, since the number of black balls remain the same, it's 1, but the total number of balls are now 5. So that's 1 upon 5, okay? Or, which means plus, it could be the other way around. Okay, could be the other way around means that you can take a black ball from bag A, which has a probability of 3 upon 5, okay, and then you place it in bag B. So now bag B has another black ball. Okay, this is black, not blue. So I'll just change it. Okay, I'm sure you guys get the point, but chalo, I'll just do it. Okay, there you go. And now what is the probability of drawing a white ball from bag B? Now the number of white balls remain the same. There are 3, but the total number of balls are now 5. Okay, so what's happening in short is that the total is increasing by 1. Okay. All right, now let's figure this out. So this is going to be 3 upon 25 plus 9 upon 25, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 11 upon 25. So good job, whoever got this right. Oh no, wait a minute. White is 2 upon 5. Yeah, you're right. Okay, how come I got the correct answer then? Wait a minute. What's the answer? 11 upon 25. White from bag A is 2 upon 5. Yeah, you're right. So 9 plus 3 is 12. Oh, okay, what a coincidence. 2 wrongs make 1 right. There you go. Fixed it. 2 upon 5 nahi hai, it's 3 upon 5 nahi tha, it's 2 upon 5. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. Can we have boxing match? Okay, I see where that is coming from. Acha, I'll repeat this. So basically, first of all, make sure that you guys understand the question well. It says a ball is taken at random from bag A and its color is recorded. This ball is then placed in bag B. A ball is then taken at random from bag B. Okay. So what is the probability of now the question says find the probability that the ball from bag B has a different color to the ball taken from bag A. Okay. So one way that we can fulfill this condition is that if you have white from A and black from B, or if you have black from A and white from B. Okay. So what's the probability of having a white ball from bag A? It's 2 upon 5. Okay. And then if you take one white ball and place it in bag B, now what's the probability of drawing a black ball from bag B? It's going to be 1 upon 5. Why? Because the number of black will remain the same, but the total will now be 5. Okay. Then the other way around. That is, if you end up taking what I've drawn over here, if you end up taking a black ball from bag A, so the probability of that will be 3 upon 5. And then if you place it in bag B, so now the probability of getting a white becomes 3 upon 5. Why? Because the total is 3, the total number of white balls are 3, and the total number of balls are 5. So there you go. So add this up and you will get the answer. Tracing paper के scene पे मैंने video बना दिया है, so you can check it out. Okay. Ah, I like that. UMC, Ultimate Mathematician Championship. Jana. Who's gonna do all the promotion? Okay, question number 8. Question number 8 says the height h meters of. Okay, now someone asked that when do we multiply by 2 and when do we not multiply? So you'll find your answer to your question in this. It says the heights h meters of the 120 boys in an athletics club are recorded. The table shows information about the heights of the boys. Okay, so notice that we have a frequency table. Okay, where the heights are in intervals form. Okay, 3 boys are chosen at random from the club. Calculate the probability that one of the boys has a height greater than 1.8 and the other 2 boys have a height of 1.4 meters or less. Okay, so अब हम एक काम करते हैं. greater than 1.8 को हम G बोल देते हैं, ठीक है, and 1.4 meter or less को let's call this L. Okay, and how many boys are we selecting? We're selecting 3. Okay, so basically this is what we have to find out. We need to find out the probability that 1 has a height of greater than 1.8, okay, and 2 have a height of 1.4 meters or less. Okay, now first I'm going to write this down formally. Okay, so one way of fulfilling this is that if you have a boy who has a height greater than 1.8, okay, the first time you select it, and then you have a boy who has a height of lesser than 1.4 or less, okay, greater than or lesser than or equal to, and then the third one also has a height of 1.4 meter or less, okay. Now like I said कि इसको हम G बोल देते हैं, all the boys who have a height greater than 1.8 meters and all the boys who have a height of lesser than or equal to 1.4 meters, and then another one with a height of less than or equal to 1.4 meters. Okay. Now you can select 3 boys who fulfill the following condition in this sequence. Okay. Now this is one of the many sequences. Okay. So let's work out the probability for this. So what is the probability that the first boy we end up selecting has a height of greater than 1.8 meters? Okay. So how many such boys do we have? That's 14. Okay. And what about the total? The total is 120. Okay. And since we're selecting 3 boys, it's definitely without replacement. So now what is the probability of selecting a boy? What is the probability that the second boy has a height which is less than or equal to 1.4? So that means we're talking about these 7 boys. Okay. So 7 over 119. And then what is the probability that there's another boy who has a height of less than or equal to 1.4? So that's going to be 6 upon 118. लेकिन अब मुझे ये बताएं आप लोग कि is this the only sequence in which we can fulfill this condition, or you think there are more sequences as well? Okay, that's funny. If anyone wants Save My Exams Drive link which contains physics, maths and bio notes. वाह क्या बात है, इतनी मेहनत से और रिसोर्सेज कंपाइल करते हैं और आप यहाँ पे फ्री में बांट रहे हैं. PTV Sports, yeah, we can do better than that. Multiply by 3. Now the question is, why do we multiply it by 3? Okay, you're right. That's because there are many sequences in which we can fulfill this condition. Okay, one could be LGL. Okay, or it could be GLL. Now, instead of finding out the probability of all this and then adding them up, what we can do is we can just find out the probability of one sequence, and notice that there are 3 possible sequences, right? So just find out the probability of one and multiply it by 3. Okay. So there you go. Let's work this out. 14 over 120 into 7 over 119 into 6 over 118. All right, and then times it by 3. So here's what we get. 21 over 20,060. That's your answer. Yeah, so basically the video that I made of tracing paper, उसमें मैंने mention किया हुआ है कि I've shared links in the description of how to do rotation and rotational symmetry using a tracing paper. Okay, देख लेना. You will understand how it's done. GLL twice. No, we're not gonna oh yeah, GLL मैंने तो दो दफ़ा लिख दिया. Actually, I wanted to write LLG. Sorry. छोड़ते नहीं हैं आप लोग भी कोई भी गलती. You're right. Thank you. The answer will be the same, so why multiply by 3? Well, that's the reason why we're multiplying by 3, because the answer will be the same. Okay. What topics are most important for IGCSE? So it's not about what topic is more important, it's about what topic carries the most marks. So, it's always the way जो आपके topics हैं. Trigonometry carries a lot of marks, mensuration carries a lot of marks, graphs of functions carries a lot of marks. So it's that. thank you. So there's someone here to wish you guys best of luck. You guys should check out his channel. He makes some really nice math content. Okay, now I believe this is the second to last question. No, it's not the second to last question. Khair. It's the third last question, but anyway, I'd like you guys to solve this question. Hamdan, I'll see if I can take time out to make questions of past paper questions, so video on past paper questions of algebra. Okay. Sir, how to know when we have to multiply the probability and when to add? Okay, so whenever you see the word such as and, you multiply. Okay. And whenever you have multiple ways of fulfilling the same condition, okay, what you do then is you add. Okay, so like for example, if the question says, like for example, we did a question that he picks the green ball is the first, second, or third. Okay, so first, second, or third. Now these are three ways of fulfilling the condition. So in that case, what did we do? We worked out the probability and we added them up. Okay. Then how do you make sure that the second one is green? That is, if the first one is blue and then the second one is green. So here, what's the word? The keyword is and. So what do you do in that case? You multiply blue, green. And then what if the third one is green? That means first is blue and the second is blue and the third is green. So in that case, yes, you multiply. Okay. So agar ek hi event hai na, in that case we multiply probabilities. Okay. But if there are separate events and these separate events fulfill that condition, then in that case you work out the probability of all the events that fulfill that condition and then you add it up. Sir, does your camera move with you? Yeah, my camera tracks my movement. So if I move here, there you go. If I move here, it tracks my movement. (1056 over 4975). Okay, sounds good. Let me see. I'm afraid. No, wait a minute. Give your answer in simplified form. Okay. Yeah, so 480 over 1339 is the correct answer. 480 over 1339 is the correct answer. Okay, so I'll solve it. So basically, it says here the 200 students also estimate the total area, A meter square, of the window in the classroom. Okay. The table shows their results. 2 students are chosen at random from those students that estimated the area of the window to be more than 100 meters square. Find the probability that, okay, so this, by the way, okay, interesting. This is a conditional probability question. You know that? Okay, the good answer. 2 students are chosen at random from those students that estimated the area of the window to be more than 100 meters square. So that means जो हम select कर रहे हैं ना, वो हम select कर रहे हैं 80 और 24 में से. Okay, so that means now the total outcomes are actually 104. Okay. Then it says find the probability that one of the 2 students estimates the area to be greater than 150. Okay, so इसको हम G बोल देते हैं और इसको हम less L बोल देते हैं. Okay. Now ग्रेटर देन 150 वाले कितने हैं? वो 24 हैं. ठीक है, तो ये आपके G हैं. एंड लेस देन 150 वाले कितने हैं? ये आपके 80 हैं. Okay. Now notice that the question hasn't specified that the first one should have area to be greater than or the second one should have area to be lesser than. It hasn't specified. So what does that mean? That means we need to consider all possibilities. Okay. So one possibility is that, so basically we work out the probability that the first student estimated the area to be greater than 150. Okay. And the second one estimated the area to be less than 150. Okay, so like I said, G, L. So what would be the probability for that? What's the probability that the first student estimates the area to be greater than 150? That's 24, okay, over 104 multiplied by, what's the probability of selecting a student who has measured the area to be less than 150? 80 over 103. Now why 103? Because it's without replacement. That's the only way that you can select two students, okay? Now there's another possibility. The other possibility is that the first student estimates the area to be less than 150, okay, L, and the second student estimates the area to be more than 150. Okay, so that's G, because the question didn't specify. So instead of working this out all over again, what I can do is I can simply multiply it by 2. So let's see, what do we get? 240 in 24 actually. 24 over 104 into 80 over 103, and then just times it by 2. So we get 480 over 1339. 480 over 1339. And there you go, fellas. That's your answer. Okay, man, you're full of ideas, Shahir. What about tag team maths or southern cinematics versus... I think we should do it. Well, that could be what? Subcontinent versus... what? I don't know. Corporate maths kahan ka channel hai. But yeah, it's a good idea. I like that. So I'm going to start training after... soon as this session end ho jaye, I'll start training. So how do I stop making dumb mistakes in math? Okay, so I've been... मैं पता नहीं कितनी दफ़ा ये सवाल पढ़ चुका हूँ, but just read the question carefully. I noticed that someone answered this question and he said by reading the question carefully. So that's literally the answer. Just read the question carefully and you'll avoid dumb mistakes. If you know you have a tendency of making dumb mistakes, then what should you do? You should just be more conscious, okay? Like for example, अगर कोई heart patient है, ठीक है, उसको पता है कि उसको कभी भी God forbid कुछ attack हो सकता है, so what will that person do? Just be more conscious of their habits, right? So again, same goes for you guys. If you're afraid of making silly errors, so just be conscious of it, okay? Okay. So how do you know when it's with this? You mean with replacement and without replacement? ज़्यादा पढ़ लिया आपने, I think physics के आप math or physics mix कर रही हैं. So basically, if the question says that you're selecting two students, okay, to anything, that means it has to be without replacement, okay? But if the questions, just make sure to read the question carefully, okay? अच्छा एक चीज़ मैं आपको और बताता हूँ. If the question is silent, na, if the question doesn't say anything, then it's an unwritten rule that it's without replacement, okay? Achha, why did we use 104? Where did I use 104? Okay, so that's because this is conditional probability, okay? So it says here that two students are chosen at random from those students that estimated the area of the windows to be more than 100. So how many such students do we have? 80 plus 24, so that's 104. Corporate Maths has 180k subscribers. Okay, I'm sure I must have seen his channel, just that I can't recall it like that. Okay. So let's do this question, then there are two more questions, and that's it. What do you think the grade threshold will be for? I don't know. I don't have any contacts in Cambridge who can tell me what the grade threshold is going to be. Okay, so it's impossible to predict the grade threshold. Without even looking at the paper, it's impossible. Maybe after looking at the paper, I'll be in a position to predict that, but that's going to take a while. 62 over 95. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. Good job. Okay. So let's see. So it says here, a box contains 20 packets of potato chips, 6 packets of barbecue flavored chips, 10 packets of salt flavored chips, 4 packets contain chicken flavored chips. Okay. Maria takes 2 packets at random without replacement. Find the probability that she takes 2 packets of different flavored chips. Okay, so what's an easier way to do this question? What's an easier way to do this question? Should I consider एक काम करते हैं. Let's call potato P. In fact, no, they're all potato chips. Let's call barbecue B, salt S, and chicken C. Okay, so should we consider all possibilities? B, S, SC, BC, CB, CS. Should we consider all of that, or you think there's an easier way to it? Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. 1, 2, 3. No, I think, yeah, I definitely missed one. C, B, B, S, S, C, C, S, C, B, S, B. Yeah, I missed that. S, B. So is that what I should do? Or you think there's an easier way to it? Sir, you can mark my paper. Honestly, it's a win-win for both of us. I get my marks, you get your boxing. Okay, sounds great. CS is, yeah, the probability will be the same. Okay, the probability will be the same. Okay. But is that how we should do it? Chalo ek kaam karta hu. Let me solve it, and then if someone has come up with an easier way here, no one has come up with an easier way. Okay. So basically, these two are going to be equal. All right, so we don't have to work them out twice. We can just take one and multiply it by 2. Okay, so let's find that out. The probability, the first chip is a barbecue chip, will be 6 upon 20. Okay, and then the second one is a salt one, would be 10 upon 19. Okay, so 6 upon 20 into 10 upon 19. And then what we can do is we can simply multiply it by 2. So this is considered and this is considered. Okay, then let's talk about salt and chicken. So how many salt flavored chips do we have? 10 10. So the probability will be 10 upon 20. And how many chicken flavored chips do we have? We have 4. So that's going to be 4 upon 19. So you take this and multiply it by 20. Okay, so this is considered and this is considered. Okay, and then how many barbecue flavored chips do we have? That's 6. So 6 upon 20. And then how many chicken flavored chips do we have? So that's 4 upon 19. So again, we multiply this by 2, so this is considered and this is also considered. Okay, so now if you work this out, let's see. Phone kyun utha raha hu main? 6 into 10 is 60. 60 into 2 is 120. So 120 upon 20 into 19 is 380. So 380 plus this will also be 380 and this will also be 380. 10 into 4 is 40. 40 into 2 is 80. 6 into 4 is 24. 24 into 2 is 48. Okay, so 120 plus 80 plus 48. So that's equal to 248. 248 upon 380. Let's see, what do we get? So we get 62 over 95. And there you go. That's that. Now there's another way of doing this. वो ये होगा कि you do 1 minus the probability that both are the same. Okay, now remember, this only works if you're drawing 2 items. Okay, if you're drawing more than 2, then this doesn't work. So I'll just write it down and then you can figure out the working yourself. So 1 minus the probability that both the chips are of the same flavor means B. Okay, or chicken or salt. ठीक है, इस तरह से भी आप करेंगे, so you'll get the same answer. So here is an alternate method. ठीक है, I'll write it down. There you go. Okay, next question. Question number 11. Yeah, there you go. Solve question 11. Beta, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to hide you. Okay. TK, I appreciate it, but still, that's not on. So 4024, well, I know a lot of you have been asking me कि एक स्टूडेंट ने तो इनफैक्ट ये भी मैसेज भेजा कि ओ लेवल्स वाले मर गए हैं क्या. सो डोंट वरी, आप लोगों का पेपर 9th को है, IGCSE वालों का तो 2nd और 4th को है. सो 4024 के भी बैक टू बैक स्ट्रीम्स करूँगा मैं. जस्ट लेट्स just let me get done with IGCSE and AS. Acha, so functions transformation, I'm doing a stream tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, of AS Math. 10 upon 231. Okay, so we seem to have an answer. 10 upon 231 is the correct answer. Yeah. Okay, so I'll quickly solve this. Okay. So it says here the Venn diagram above shows information about the number of students who study music, drama, and geography. Okay. 2 students are chosen at random from those who study drama. Again, read the question carefully. This is conditional probability. Okay. If you're not selecting from the total, if you're selecting from a specific group, then it's conditional probability. So that means the number of students that we're selecting are from the students, sorry, not from geography. Okay. From drama, in fact. So the total will be 8 plus 2, that's 10. 10 plus 3, that's 13. 13 plus 9, that is 22. I see you? Yeah, 22. Okay. Then it says calculate the probability that they both also study music. Okay, so what's the probability that they study music? That's going to be 5 because you have 5 such students out of 22. Okay, now what about the second one? 4 upon 21, work this out. 4 into 5 divided by 22 into 21. So that's equal to 20 upon 10 upon 231. Okay, there you go. Last question. Okay, जिनका आंसर 10 upon 231 आ रहा है ना, you guys aren't reading the no wait, 10 upon 231 तो correct answer है. 37 upon 95, I think you're not reading the question carefully. Note that it says that you're only selecting from those who study drama. Okay. Trigonometric equation and graphs. So what subject are you talking about, Arush? Are you talking about IGCSE Math or are you talking about AD Maths or are you talking about AS Math? Okay, मैं भी एक poll डाल रहा हूँ. Please answer it quickly. Okay, so I'll answer this question. 129 over 190 seems to be the answer. Let me write down the final answer. It is 129 over 190 for part 2. Part 1 का answer तो दिया हुआ है. Okay. So it says Sonia has a bag containing 20 sweets. In the bag there are 5 red, 6 green and 9 yellow sweets. Sonia chooses 2 sweets at random without replacement from the bag. Show that the probability that she chooses 2 green sweets is 3 over 38. Okay, so how many green does she have? 6 upon 20. Okay, and then 5 upon 19. There you go. That's it. It's pretty easy. 6 ones are, no wait a minute, can't do that. 5 ones are, 5 fours are, 2 threes are, 2 twos are, so 3 upon 38 it is. There you go. Then it says calculate the probability that the sweets she chooses are not both the same color. Okay, so again you can either find out you can do this, that you can do red green, okay, and then times by 2, so to consider the opposite, and then you can do green yellow times by 2, okay, or you can do red yellow times by 2 because yellow red is also possible, or you could do 1 minus the probability of same, which means let's do this question this way. 1 minus the probability of green green plus red red plus what's the other color? Yellow. Okay. Now we already have the probability that she selects 2 green sweets. That's 3 upon 38. Okay. Now what about red red? So red red would be 5 upon 20. So let's work it out. 5 upon 20. Okay. Into 4 upon 20. 4 upon 19 actually. Alright. Plus yellow yellow, which would be 9 upon 20 into 8 upon 19. Okay. Now let's work this out. This would be, let's see, 5 into 4 divided by 20 divided by 19. So this is 1 upon 19. Okay, 3 upon 38 from before, plus 9 into 8 divided by 20 divided by 19. So that's, wait a minute, 9 into 8 divided by 20 into 19. So that's equal to 18 upon 95. Okay. Now let's see, what do we get? Let's add this up. 3 upon 38 plus 1 upon 19 plus 18 upon 95. So that's 61 over 190. 1 minus 61 over 190. So 1 minus the answer. So we're looking at 129 over 190. I think that's what most of you said. 129 over 190, which is the correct and the final answer. So there you go, fellas. That's your answer. Okay, what do we have? Yearly past papers clearly wins. Okay, at this point, honestly, you guys should be solving yearly past papers. Okay, yearly past papers के through आपका पूरा revision होता है. You get a holistic idea of where you stand. So it's important that you guys do yearly past papers. Can you make a video practicing AddMath integration past papers? Yes, AddMath students, don't worry about it. I have you covered, don't worry. As soon as I'm done with IGCSE and AS, then we'll start AddMaths as well. Okay, we have plenty of time for AddMaths, don't worry. What else do you need desperately? Yearlies, yeah, yearly. So I'll be doing yearlies tomorrow, inshallah. I'll be doing May June 2022 paper 12. Okay, so if you guys want to solve it, go ahead. May June 2022 paper 12. No, wait, not paper 12. Sorry, paper 22. Paper 2. Yes. May June. I'll repeat. May June 2022 paper 22. Yes. Okay, 2014 October November 42 probability question. Okay, so that's one question that I will solve and then we'll call it a day. So let me just open that up, just a minute. Oops, that's not what I wanted to hide. I wanted to hide the iPad. (2014) October November 42. What's the question number? Acha, I think I found it. Okay, don't worry, I think I found it. Tero, let me share it with you guys. Here it is. इसी की बात करें आप? चलो, I'll give you guys a minute to solve the first two parts first. पहले ये solve करें और फिर मुझे बताएं. And yeah, you're right. I remember this question. Part C, right? Part C is quite difficult. It's a 5-mark question. There are rarely any questions that carry 5 marks, but yeah, this is one of those. Okay, so let's have a look at the first part. So let's jaldi se solve karte hain. 10 part A says the following. So let's call it K. Okay, let's call this person K. K plays a board game. 2 cubes, dice, each have faces numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In the game, a throw is rolling 2 fair 6-sided dice and then adding the numbers on their top faces. In the game, a throw is rolling the 2 fair 6-sided dice and then adding the 2 numbers on the top faces. Okay, so I just wanted to read that again. The total number is the number of spaces to move on the board. Okay. For example, if the numbers are 4 and 3, he moves 7 spaces. Okay, so this is just regular Ludo wala scene. Okay. Giving an answer as a fraction in its simplest form, find the probability that he moves 2 spaces with his next row. Okay, so the only way that he can move 2 spaces is that if he gets a 1 in the first attempt and he gets a 1 in the second attempt. Okay, so 1 upon 6 into 1 upon 6, which is equal to 1 upon 36. Okay, 10 spaces with his next row. Okay, up for this, if you want, you can do sample spacing. Okay, and find out how many ways you get 10. Okay. So, if you think about it, you have only 2, 4, 6, 6, 4, and 5, 5. 3 actually. Okay. But let's just do the sample spacing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We might need it for the later parts. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so the probability that he moves 10 is going to be equal to what? Is going to be equal to 3 upon 36, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 1 upon 12. Okay, there you go. Let me know if these answers are correct. Okay, just to be on the safe side. Okay. Then it says, what is the most likely number of spaces that K will move with his next row? Explain your answer. So notice how this has now come in handy. Notice that the most likely to happen is 7 as it has the highest probability. Okay, because it has the highest probability, or you can say it occurs the most number of times. Highest probability or occurs, yeah, आपके लिए है, ठीक है, that either you write highest probability or you write that it occurs the most number of times. Okay, so I hope no problems up until now. Okay. Sample spacing is this. Sample spacing is listing all the possible outcomes. Okay. Acha, this is October-November 2014, paper 4, variant 2. Okay. Now, here's the question. To win the game, he must move exactly to the 100th space. K is on the 97th space. Okay, so this is where K is right now. If his next throw takes him to 99, he moves back to 96. If his next throw takes him over 100, he stays on 97. Find the probability that he reaches 100 in either of his next two throws. Okay, so that's interesting. That is interesting. Now see, in order to win, he has to go from 97 to 100. Okay. In order to win, he has to go from 97 to 100, and he has how many throws? He has 2 throws. Okay. Now, let's see. What is sample spacing? I answered that. This is sample spacing basically. Okay. This is writing down all the possible outcomes is sample spacing. Okay. Now, so basically, in order to win, he has to get to 100. Okay, that's how basically snakes and ladders is both that. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, you need to get to 100. Now, one way that he can get to 100 is by getting a 3 in the first attempt. Okay, basically he needs 3 to win, right? So what's the probability of getting a 3? The probability of getting a 3 is equal to what? Is equal to 2 upon 36. Okay. Now, then notice that the question says that he reaches 100 in either of his next 2 throws. Okay. But it's also possible that in the first throw, he gets a score that's more than 3. Okay. And in the second one, so that means the first throw is useless. Okay. He doesn't go anywhere after the first throw. If his score is more than 3, where is he going to go? It's not like he's going to cross 100 and go somewhere else, right? So that means this is basically the probability of winning in the first attempt. Now, in the second attempt, one way to win in the second attempt is that if he gets the score that is more than 3, okay, more than 3, which is useless, and then in the second one, he gets a score of 3. Now, what's the probability of getting a score that's more than 3? Since how many 3s do we have? We have 2 3s from a total of, no, wait a minute. Just a minute. Let me check and make sure I'm doing it correctly. 3. Yeah, okay. So what's the probability of getting a score of more than 3? So how many scores do we have that are less than 3? That's 3. Okay. So that means more than 3 are 33. So 33 upon 36. Okay. Because anything that's more than 3 is useless. Okay. So for the first turn, it's useless. That means he will now attempt it a second time. And then what is the probability of getting a 3? That would be 2 upon 36. Okay. So let's work this out. 33 into 2 divided by 36 divided by 36. So that's equal to 11 over 216. And let's simplify this also. This is equal to 1 upon 18. Okay. But this is not the only way that he can win. Okay. There are more ways of winning. And that is, okay. Now notice that it's impossible to get to 98 in the first attempt. Why? Because the minimum score that he can get is 2. Okay. So aisa to nahi ho sakta that he gets 1. Okay. So the minimum score that he gets has to be 2. But if he gets 2, then what happens? He goes back 3 spaces. That means if he gets 2, so here's what happens. So first let's see what's the probability of getting a 2. Okay, the probability of getting a 2 is basically 1 upon 36. Okay, but if he gets a 2 in the first attempt, that means he is now at 99, and now he goes back 3 spaces. So that means now he's at 1, 2, 3. Now he is at 96. If he gets a 2, he goes to 99. Okay, now he goes back to 96. Now, what is the probability of winning from here in the second attempt? The only way that he can win from here in the second attempt is if he gets a 4. Now, what's the probability of getting a 4 in the second attempt? That would be into, how many 4s do we have? We have 3 4s. So that would be 3 upon 36. So let's figure this out. This is equal to 3 over 36 into 36, which is equal to 1296. In fact, let me just write down the simplified version. 1 into 3 divided by 36 divided by 36. So that's 1 over 432. Okay, and now let's see if there's any other way of winning. No, I don't think there's any other way of winning. Okay. One way is that he wins in the first attempt, for which he needs what? For which he needs a 3, and the probability of that is 2 upon 36. The other way is that if he gets a score which is more than 3, and that's kind of useless, okay, so then he gets to go again, and in that case, in the second attempt, he gets a 3, okay. So the probability of getting a score that's more than 3 means just ignoring 2 and 3, the 1, 2, and the 2 3s, and all 33 scores are more than 3, so that's why 33 upon 36 into 2 upon 36, because that's the probability of getting a 3 in the second attempt. So that's 11 upon 216. And then one possibility is that he gets to 99. Because of that, he goes back 3 places. Now that means he's at 96 and then getting a 4. So probability of getting a 2 and 4. So probability of getting a 2 is 1 upon 36 since there's 1 2 out of 36. And then the probability of getting a 4 since there are 3 4s out of 36. Okay, so now this is it, the moment of truth. Let's add it up and see if you get the correct answer. Plus 1 over 432. So that is equal to 47 over 432. Is that the correct answer? 1 upon 18 plus 11 upon 216 plus 1 over 432, which is equal to 47 over 432. Yeah, answer? Okay. Bigger than 3 should be 34. No, actually bigger than 3 should be 33. Why? Because we also have to consider the 2. 2 bhi to less than 3 hai na? So these are all the scores that are less than 3. So bigger than 3 has to be 33, not 32. Not 34, 33. Probability of 3 is 2 upon 36. Why isn't it 1 upon 6? Because we're taking the sum. We're taking the sum. So he could get 99 and then he need a 4. Yeah, that's exactly what we have considered. So shouldn't bigger than 3 be 34? Okay, now the thing is, those of you are saying bigger than 3 should be 34, you're only considering the fact that there are 2 3s. So there's also 1 2. Okay, there's also 1 2. So less 3 or less than 3 kitne? 3. That means bigger than 3 would be 33. Okay, not 34. पहले मैं भी यही सोचा था कि 34 होंगे, but notice that we have a 2 as well. Yes, probability requires common sense. In fact, everything requires common sense. Okay, मैं इस question की आपको एक summary दे देता हूँ. देखो, the way that he can win is that he gets a 3 in the first attempt. Okay, जिसकी probability हमने क्या निकाली? 2 upon 36, which is equal to 1 upon 18. And the other way that he can win is that he gets a score of more than 3 in the first attempt and then 3 in the second attempt. The probability of that is 3 upon 33 upon 36 for more than 3 and 2 upon 36 for exactly 3. Okay, which turned out to be 11 over 216. And then there is a possibility that he gets a 2, okay, because of which he moves 3, he gets to 99, but because of that he moves back 3 places. That means he's at 96, which means he needs 4 to win. Okay, so that is going to be, the probability of getting a 2 is 1 upon 36, and then the probability of getting a 4 would be 3 upon 36. So that's equal to what? That's equal to 3 upon, actually 1 upon 432 after you simplify it. Okay, now you sum this up, and if you sum it up, so equals to 47 upon 432. कोई चेक करके बता देना कि इसका क्या आंसर है? 47 over 432 है ना? Sir, answer round करके नहीं, it's just write it in fraction. Okay, no need to give your answer in decimals, just write it in fraction. The thing is, I would love to make all my content in Urdu, but I've explained this earlier as well, that since there are a lot of international students, that's why I make content in English. There are people from South Africa, India. Khair, I'm sure they understand Urdu in India, but from countries where they don't understand Urdu. That's why. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Here's the question. Take a screenshot of it. Do whatever you want with it. And good question. Just maybe pucha, good question. Good challenging question. It's 1 over 18? Is that the answer? 1 over 18? I don't believe it. हो ही सकता 1 over 18. Okay, I'll just quickly check the marking scheme. Just a minute, okay? This is what we got, right? 47 over 432. सही तो है 40. Oh, great. It's connected now, I guess. Oh, awesome. So I was about to end the stream. Khair, anyway, basically I was connected to the wrong internet. Every time I check to make sure I'm connected to the right internet, but this time I forgot. Anyway, uh, so I'm gonna stop here. I'll upload, like I said, I'll upload the PDF, the solved PDF, in the same group. Okay. And yeah, that's it. Take care, everyone. Keep studying. Keep working hard. Keep making your parents and your teachers proud. So that's it. Take care. Allah Hafiz. No, only construction of triangles is there in IGCSE. Okay, triangles and bearing related questions. But other than that, you don't have anything else. Okay. No loci stuff. वालेकुम सलाम मुस्तफ़ा. वालेकुम सलाम. कैसे हैं आप? कल की टाइमिंग्स मैं अभी ग्रुप पे डाल दूँगा. ग्रुप कह रहा हूँ, इंस्टाग्राम पे डाल दूँगा. देखता हूँ. Let me just go over my schedule and then I'll upload. But होंगे around the same time. Okay. So any thoughts on Verstappen's reaction to Russell? Okay, what time is Formula One? I saw the shootout, sprint shootout, but I didn't see after that. Khair, anyway. Walaikum Salam Mustafa, I replied that. I replied to it. Anyway, so that's it, boys and girls. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Have fun. Keep studying.